Talk a little more high school football right now, because right now on the APEC VIP hotline, cutting edge training for the serious athlete, apecgo.com. Joining us now, the head football coach of the Gilmer Buckeyes, Coach Jeff Traylor. How you doing, Coach?
We're doing good. We're hot, but we're doing good.
Boy, I know it is hot. I was doing a little research today. The next win for Gilmer is going to be the 600th all-time victory. Is that right?
Oh, that is correct.
What does that kind of tradition mean to a program?
Oh, it always helps. I mean, nowadays with kids, as hot as it is, there's so many things to do. Just the incentive for them to want to play and just be a part of something that's been great for a long time, long before they got here, and it just helps. Their dads all played and their grandfathers played, and they were all part of something great, so they want to keep it going here.
Well, you're coming off a 13-1 record. You kept it going. You went to the Division II state quarterfinals in Class 3A last year. You've been in the playoffs 11 out of 12 years. Do you remember the year that you didn't make the playoffs?
Yeah, it was my very first year here.
That was it.
Got beat in Tatum. Got 8 inches of rain that night. They beat us 14-7. Terrible loss.
And you said no more of that.
Well, I think we all say that a lot. Saying it's not what gets it done. We got a lot of great players here that work their tails off and believe in each other and believe in the coaches. So they've been doing it for a while here.
Now, when you have only 2 offensive starters coming back, most people would call that a rebuilding job. Gilmer seems to do a reload. I know that this is a different kind of year for you, because it had to be very interesting time coaching not only your son, Jordan Traylor, but Luke Turner, one of his good friends and a favorite kid of yours. A little different this year, dealing with kids that maybe you're not so close to?
Well, we miss them, there's no doubt. There's no relationship like a relationship with your own son. And it was the first time Monday at practice, Jordan and Luke hadn't been at a practice since they were in the first grade.
Wow.
So it was different for Matt and I, obviously, and all my coaches. But Jordan's doing great at Mississippi College. He loves it. And Luke's doing great at Rice. And it wasn't just those kids either. We had Branson Parker go to Mary Hardin Baylor, and Darian Pollard went to Rice as well. So we had, a few kids that are playing college football right now that are gone. And it's not that we don't have some good players coming up. We just haven't seen them on Friday nights. They've been doing good on Thursdays. And we expect them to step in there and do well. How well they'll do quick, against an Atlanta team that's returning everyone, remains to be seen. And we'll probably be the underdogs, and we're not the underdogs very often because we've had great players through the years. But I would imagine, Atlanta should be picked to win, and they probably deserve that. But our young kids want to go out there and get after them, and we'll see what happens. Now,
you guys were 8-1 in the JV program last year, right?
Yes, sir, we were. We've got some good Thursday players, and that's what the secret to this is. The coach that has the most good players makes him a whole lot better coach. So
who do we need to be watching for as you rebuild that offense this year?
Oh, there's a bunch of names. So we've got about 6 running backs competing for the job. You got Josh Walker, who was an outside linebacker last year. You got Chris Boyd, who's a corner. You got Chase Tate, who's he played some slot receiver for us last year. You've got Charles Williams, who's on our JV last year. You got Brandon Barnes, who's played on the varsity some last year. Adrian Johnson, who's on the freshman team. There's 6 of those guys. We got 3 quarterbacks competing for the job. Tanner Barr, who's an all-state safety last year. Jaden Parrish, the all-district H-back. And we have a sophomore named McLean Carter, which is T.J. Kenny's little brother. So a lot of receivers that you hadn't heard of, but kids that Trey Washington's commit to SMU. Slade Morris is coming up. Didn't play a whole lot last year. Pat Finch is a senior playing off our JV. Just a lot of guys that, just kind of had different roles last year. But it's their time to shine, and I know they've been looking forward to it. We expect them to do great things. Now,
as far as replacing Luke Turner and Jordan Traylor at quarterback, talk about who might have the inside track on that.
Well, all 3 of those kids do something really well. McLean is a true passer of the football. His body hasn't quite matured yet. He's just a sophomore, so he's not as physically strong as those 2 kids. Jaden's probably the best runner and thrower of the 2. Tanner's a really good athlete that's really working on his throwing and gotten much better there. So all 3 of them do things very well. I know this. You got to have great quarterbacks to be great. And we're never going to decide on that decision too early. We're going to try to make those kids compete as long as possible. Like you saw with Jordan, we lost Luke in game 6 or 7, and if we hadn't played Jordan all those years and weeks at quarterback when he was young, we wouldn't have been near as successful as we were. But Jordan jumped in there and kept it going because of the work he got when he was young.
You don't have quite the rebuilding job on defense. 7 starters back. What kind of defense are you expecting to have this year?
We feel pretty good about that. We think we're going to be pretty good on that side of the ball, actually. Inside linebacker Adam Witcher's returning. We're competing for another job there. You got 3 linebackers battling for that one job. My nose guard's returning. He's a really good football player, Xavier Fluellen. Got outside linebacker Josh Walker returning. Trey Washington at corner. Chris Boyd at corner. Tanner Barr at safety. Dylan Bowman at safety. So I've got Anthony Villaforte doing the tackle. Get Garrett Parrish doing the tackle. We've got some names over there, and we feel we're going to be pretty strong over there. We're going to have to be early because I'm afraid we're going to be punting it a lot early. I hope we're not turning it over. We hope we're punting it, and we think we're going to be pretty good on defense. So I'm excited about that. And my kicker's back. Pablo Oliveira, the sophomore, made some great kicks last year, so we're really excited about having Pablo back.
And talk about your return man. If you do force him to punt, it sounds like you got somebody that could be a real weapon for you.
Yeah, Chase is really special. He played a lot as a freshman. He's only about 5'4", 130 pounds, but he's unique. He's a different kind of kid. He's not I wouldn't even brag on most freshmen. I wouldn't even mention their names, but he's a very humble kid, got a great mother, got a good head on his shoulders. He acts like a senior as a freshman, and that's just so rare. And when he's worth the price of admission just to watch him play ball. So he just is so little, and he just plays so hard. He's a fan favorite in Gilmer.
That's outstanding. Now, gone from the District of Doom, you got rid of Carthage, and you traded up and got Kilgore and Chapel Hill to replace him. That was a fair trade, wasn't it?
And Bullard.
And Bullard.
And, their kids, they beat our 8th grade 28-0 when they were young. So this current group of seniors lost those guys 28-0. So they're a very talented group over there, and they've done a good job coaching them. Those kids believe. And, Thomas won state championship at Chapel Hill. So, they're going to be good. And